So this whole time we've been making television, we've been under a network. And we wanted to do something that wasn't just about the paranormal. We really want to do something that's about people.
I don't have as much time going down the road. I just want to experience what I can as long as I can.
I like the like-minded people.
Diversity through unity.
We're not just, a paranormal team. We are family.
That's what this project's all about. People. That's the crucial element to paranormal investigation. Let's meet the mom. Let's talk about little Miss Kennedy. All right, Kennedy, give us all the clap.
My name's Kennedy. I'm from Kokomo, Indiana. I'm 24 and I see dead people. My childhood was pretty basic. I grew up in a small town. Everybody knew everybody. I still live in said small town. I don't even think it's on the map. I grew up in my great-grandma's house. I still live there. I've got a lot of fond memories in that house. It's home. It's always been home. I was there like 2 or 3 days after I was born. Like as soon as I left the hospital, that's where I went. My mom, mine and her relationship, we're super close. We do pretty much everything together. She'll come out on paranormal investigations with me sometimes.
If I could say anything about Kennedy, it's that she's very eager. She will ghost hunt all night long. She'll bring a sleeping bag and a K2 meter, and the Estes method will be going the whole time.
I think when it comes to the paranormal and what we're talking to, we don't know what it is. I think that's why we do this. There's some locations that are darker than others, but that doesn't mean that they're demonic. Not everything's a demon. That's something that I truly believe in.
I think a super cool thing about Kennedy, her first investigation was with us. She's one of those that she took it and she ran with it. And she's been to so many locations with us and without us.
I do believe that there are people after they've passed away. We don't know what awaits us, and I think that's why we do it. We want the answers for it. And
another cool thing about her, I think she's better than a history book when it comes to the Civil War. The chick knows every single thing about the Civil War.
My obsession with the Civil War began when I was 12 or 13. I'd actually come home from school one day and my dad was on the couch watching, not really a documentary, but the movie that they did actually on the battlefield. And it intrigued me and I was like, what's that? And he told me it was Gettysburg. Ever since then, from the moment that I learned how to use a computer at school, I was researching what it was, when it happened, the people that were involved.
It makes me feel stupid and it makes me wish I could go back to school because...
And listen.
I don't even know what years it was. It was like, what, in the 80s?
1776, something happened, I think.
I think it was in the 80s, wasn't it?
That's when the West was won.
And I call it historical crush, is Edward Porter Alexander. He was actually an artillery colonel for Robert E. Lee. My favorite piece of equipment and favorite communication method is the Estes method. Basically, the Estes method is sensory deprivation. The person wears a blindfold and a pair of noise-canceling headphones, and it's connected to essentially a broken radio that we call the spirit box. We believe that the white noise is actually a little bit easier for them to manipulate and make words and communicate with us. I've done the Estes method probably between 50 and 100 times already. I've actually learned how to kind of put myself in a trance when I do it. So I don't remember the things that I say or the things that I do or the things that I talk about. So when I come out of it, I'm like, yo, what happened?
She's our little apple of our eyes. She's not little. She's also about 7 foot tall.
Is height an advantage as a paranormal investigator? I guess it depends on where you're at. If you're in a big asylum, you've got some space to move. But if you're crawling around in a crawl space, absolutely not. I agreed to do this project because I have an undying passion for the paranormal. I love to tell the stories of the entities that I've communicated with over the past 2.5 years. If I can prove to myself that I can do this by myself, I can do literally anything else. Call me crazy, but I like to sit in dark rooms and talk to walls.
On camera, we need you to go ahead and say that Wraith chasers are way cooler and better than Destination Fear. And more handsome.
Wraith chasers are cooler, more handsome, and they're better than Destination Fear.
And better kissers.
Nope.
More muscular.
Dennis, another member of the mob tonight, a sweetheart of a man. He's searching for that visual evidence.
My name is Dennis 𝐑𝐄𝐀. I live in Roanoke, Virginia. I was a field inspector. I would randomly show up unannounced at factories and do product inspections to make sure that they were still being produced the way they should have been. And I retired in 2017. When I'm not ghost hunting, we watch a lot of sports on TV. We're big women's basketball fans, especially Virginia Tech. And we do attend a lot of the games. Occasional fishing trip and wander down to the beach in the fall and try to surf fish a little bit.
You know what I love about Dennis is he's probably the most humble man that I've ever met in my life, and he's about 8 foot tall. He's truly the epitome of a gentle giant.
I would like to say that the way I was raised by my parents to teach me to respect other people and say yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, I think that shaped me severely. I feel like I do okay in that area, you know, to respect the other people.
You can look at the man and you know that's a good soul. You're gonna need to get a high angle on him though, because see the boards missing? He walked through this room.
I really think that there is so much stuff out there that you can't explain. You can't really lump it all into one basket. The way I like to investigate, number one, is to be respectful.
We've learned a lot from Dennis just in the very few times that we've investigated. We've learned to take a humble approach and to remember to respect everything.
Because the spirits were people too. You just don't want to run in and stomp on top of them. I just like to start slow and kind of feel the surroundings and see, you know, what might transpire. Out of everybody here, I feel like I'm probably at a disadvantage because I'm still learning methods, and two, there are pieces of equipment that I have never used. Whenever I experience something, I want to go check it out. Due to advanced age, running's not an option. You know, if something's happening, you really have to kind of investigate it to see what's going on. Being the oldest newbie, I don't have as much time going down the road as a lot of the ones, so I just want to experience what I can as long as I can.
We met Chase about a year ago at the battleship Wisconsin. A little timid, very young, also very wise, I feel like, for his age. Out of the two of us, who's your favorite, Mike or Chris?
I'd rather not say. I'm Chase Peterson. I'm 15. I'm from Roanoke, Virginia. When I'm not ghost hunting, I like to go scuba diving. I'm a certified scuba diver since I was 10. I'm getting into playing lacrosse. I was doing soccer, but I changed to lacrosse this year. When I see myself in the future, I see myself getting a job in the hospital working for X-raying. I would love to see like broken bones and know what happened. I also still want to have fun going ghost hunting and just going out and hanging with friends that I meet. What got me into ghost hunting was watching the ghost hunters shows like Destination Fear, Ghost Hunters, the Wraith Chasers. Not investigating with my parents will make me a little bit more nervous, but also I would feel like I have more freedom.
The few times we investigated with him, what I like is he kind of thinks the same way we do. He likes to bring a lot of trigger objects, which we feel works.
Out of all the investigations I've gone to, the thing that I get most evidence out of is trigger objects like little army guys, stuffed animals. It usually gets a lot of activity. Being a younger investigator, I can be on the level with more of a child spirit, but at the same time, I also feel like I can also get activities from like older spirits, because they might want to be like the parent of me.
He's kind of a boy wonder. I mean, the kid's got a lot of really good ideas. I think he's going to do great tonight, and that's one of the reasons why we chose him for this project.
I agreed to do this project because it would open me up to a lot more opportunities. If I see something happen far away, I want to go to it. I love to try to debunk it and see if it was another person or if it was a true apparition or something like that.
But what would you be the most likely to?
I'm most likely to chase full body apparitions because my name's Chase.
That's it. That's it. See?
Another cool thing about this project is we have a mom-daughter team, and I think that's pretty badass.
I do too, Mike, as well.
Thank you, Chris.
You're welcome.
Do I just slam it down?
I'm Beth,
I'm Grayson.
and we're from Canton, Georgia.
Tell us about your obsession with Elvis, Beth.
My obsession with Elvis, it kind of started with Grayson because she got me hooked on it. When you start learning about his life, it's like you become obsessed. And then when you go to Graceland and you go through those gates, honestly, I started to cry. It was like an unrealistic feeling being on the grounds of a man that kind of seems like superhuman.
I love hanging out with my mom. We shop a lot, and we watch the Elvis movie a lot. I've always been super close with my mom.
So growing up, I was always interested in like police work. Being in law enforcement, I did work crimes against children and persons crimes for several years, and I dealt with deaths, homicides, like child molestations, hangings. So sometimes when we're in these places, obviously you're trying to connect with dead people. You know, were they killed in a horrific way?
She brings kind of a levity to the room when she walks in. I think being in law enforcement really helps her in that area. Being a positive person, happy, uplifting, that's big with me, that's big with ghosts, I think.
I think that what we're communicating with really depends on the place and like what happened before those people passed.
Grayson is 17 years old, very quiet, timid, but I think also like Chase, it's once she gets out of that shell, she just gets going.
Being 17, I feel like I connect with like a lot of the younger spirits better, and I feel like they respond to me more, especially if it's like little kid spirits. I've never investigated without my mom, but I have seen spirits in our house, and so a lot of them like are in my room. I see a lot of that kind of stuff, but I've never investigated without my mom.
She's a little bit, I think, of an empath. She has a little bit of a gift.
That softness and her gift, maybe she can bring something out.
I'll probably get scared without my mom, so.
I don't think you will.
I definitely will.
You've seen things in your bedroom before at night and it didn't even affect you. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
I agreed to do this project because I did think it sounded really cool, but kind of being on the other side of it, like not just watching the show where Mike and Chris go in places and investigate, for me to be in there and actually filming me investigate and to show that it's not made up, that this stuff really does happen, I just thought it would be really neat and a great experience.
Yeah, I agreed to do this because it sounded cool and I like to ghost hunt, so why not?
Clap it.
Good.
Okay.
Jen D.
So, Jen, where were you on the night of the 15th?
I can't tell.
Jen D, we've known for a handful of years. She's New York to the core.
Hi, I'm Jen, and I'm from Syracuse, New York. I'm a single mom of two beautiful girls, and I'm a dental assistant.
I talk to so many people a day. I actually never used to be able to talk to people. I couldn't look adults in their eye, but this job, I'm forced to. I'm in their face every day. I take the most scared person who doesn't say they hate the dentist, but you get me, you're laughing and joking. We're best friends by the time you leave, and nobody ever thinks that that's gonna happen. I have a 19-year-old who I'm extremely proud of. She's more than a full-time college student, and she works full-time. Naomi, I brought a couple times on investigations. She absolutely loves it. Then my second one, Gianna, she's 12, and she's into the musical, she's into school, all types of things. She's on honor roll. I'm very proud of both of them. My first paranormal experience was I was away with one of my boyfriends and went down to Atlanta for a while, and I missed my grandmother dying. I came back and I couldn't sleep one night, and all of a sudden in my room became this big orange aura, red, whatever it was just these lights. I've never seen anything like that in my life, and I just had this calming come over me, and I just looked up and said, "I'm sorry, Grandma. I'm sorry that I wasn't able to make it to your funeral." And then I just peace, and it was amazing.
You can tell she's a person who has been through a lot in her life, and she's overcome a lot of obstacles.
A year later, my best friend died. I was on one of my disappearing acts again. He was hanging out with the wrong crowd, and that was my wake-up moment. It could have been any one of us. And then a year and 1 day later, my daughter was born. And I straightened my life out, and she doesn't know it, but she saved me, and life's been good ever since. I never really tried to communicate with the loved ones that passed on, but that was certainly a moment of, wow, that's something. There's something else out there. And then I saw the Wraith Chasers on TV, and I was like, hey, these guys are pretty cool. And I have to say that I'm so thankful. I like the like-minded people out of all this. That's what I like. You've brought together such different people, but all like-minded. The thing about me is I actually do like investigating with other people, because as tough as I think I am sometimes, I'm not going in there alone. Absolutely not. Other good thing is if something happens and you hear it, and somebody else hears it, it's like, oh, that really did happen. And tonight I'm gonna make more friends. I'm excited about that. I feel like you have to talk to the spirits, ghosts, whatever you want to call them, like they're normal people. They might not know that they're dead. How would you like to be asked? How did you die? Tonight, I actually want to ask them if they have any questions for us. I hope we get some answers to what we're looking for, some actual evidence and proof to let other people know that we're not crazy.
Another new up-and-comer in the paranormal world is Sage.
My name is 𝐂𝐃𝐃𝐘. I am from Canonsburg, Pennsylvania, just about a half hour south of Pittsburgh. I've been living there just about my entire life. So right now, I'm a student at Triangle Tech in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania for refrigeration and heating and cooling. There's a whopping 5 of us in our class. I'm working part-time at Lowe's, and I work doing construction work with my brother's father-in-law on the side. So what got me into the paranormal? Growing up, my grandpa's house is actually haunted. My grandma passed before I was even born, and I've always had like a sixth sense feeling that she was still around and that there was still something at the house. Grew up watching the OG paranormal shows and kind of really sparked my interest into wanting to do it. And it wasn't until actually in 2020 during the pandemic when I decided, you know, let's buy a bunch of equipment, let's go out and do this thing and get it going, because what else was there to do during the pandemic? So that kind of is what sparked me into traveling across the country and investigating some of my favorite known haunted locations.
He's almost like a detective. He takes little pieces that he gets from the Ovilus or the spirit box, and he'll just put the pieces together, and he almost figures out like the story about what's going on.
So when I'm out investigating, I love using all the tools. I mean, I've spent a lot of money over the years building up just about everything you can see on the market anymore. I like using REM pods the most, even though they tend to get the least amount of interaction for me. I just feel like when it does happen, it's more genuine.
He's not afraid to try something new, but he'll use this and use that and different tactics, different things. I'm gonna try this. Again, no fear. He's the first one in the building and the last one to leave.
The Wraith Chasers have been basically an addition to my family. They've been absolutely great guys. It wasn't until 2021 up at Rolling Hills Asylum and I met them for the first time. And It's been nonstop fun since, getting to travel all sorts of different events with them, seeing some amazing places, meeting amazing people. I couldn't ask for a better group to run with. What I want to capture on camera tonight at St. Albans is definitely a disembodied voice of some sorts, because I feel like when people watch the TV shows, the evidence that's captured is what's left on the placement cameras across the building, and not so much what's active in the persons other than spirit box, voice recorders, stuff like that. So I feel like with the cameras rolling, us investigating, the best piece of evidence would be a disembodied voice of some sorts, or a shadow figure that walks by us, or something along those lines, because then viewers can be like, okay, we actually saw that, we heard that, that had to have been real, because there's only 2 people down there, was not one of them. So I feel like that'd be the biggest way to open people's eyes up and say, hey, this stuff's actually real.
Another cool thing about tonight's mob is we got a married couple and a brand new mama. Literally 2 weeks ago, they gave birth to a new child.
All right, do the clap.
Hi, my name is Brittany.
Hi, my name's Taylor.
And we're from Ruther Glen, Virginia. Well, we met at my first job in Ashland Skateland.
She used to work behind the snack bar counter. Me and her caught the eye for each other, and we were talking as friends for a while, and then down the road we saw more of a relationship between us, and we hit it off pretty great.
And then we're married now, 6 years.
Yep.
2 kids down. The home life is crazy. Very crazy.
Chasing down behind a son who now walks. Knows how to open gates.
Good-spirited people, good souls, and I hope they get activity. I don't know if she would want to not be by his side tonight in her state, but hope the best for him tonight.
Oh my gosh, our first paranormal experience was back in November 2019.
It was at the Thomas House Hotel. Brittany said, I forgot my jacket. I'm going back up to my room, which was room 17 that we were staying in. And as soon as we got up there, we heard a loud clap in our faces, and it scared her so bad she took off running.
And since that night, I have always been more interested in the paranormal.
I believe from where we had drummed up in the past, I believe we have brought something back home with us, because now our son is scared to sleep in his room.
It's scary, but it's also kind of fun to know who else is there. For tonight's investigation, I think I'm more of the personal experience. I've always been that way. I want to personally experience it, which I have in the past, but I think experiencing it more is going to make me understand more. And I know with Taylor being the technical guy, he likes to kind of capture everything.
Yeah, when I go into investigations, I prefer to use a K2 and REM pods mainly, because usually it helps set up a perimeter, and it helps me elaborate where more of the activity's coming from.
Having a 2-week-old, I think I would be in a different mindset, but I also think that probably could capture some more paranormal experiences for me. I'm hoping it would. That way I can connect on some other people some more, some of the spirits some more, on that kind of a level.
You know what I love the most about Brittany and Taylor is you can just feel the love when they're in the room. I mean, they just love each other so much.
You guys ever get mad at each other at all? You ever have arguments?
Mm-hmm.
We have
definitely.
We have disagreements from time to time. We tend to have yelling matches, and then once I go blow off some steam, I come home and then we hash it out, come up with a solution.
PDA. Is that it?
Yeah, with a smack in the face.
He spent $500 on a little piece of ghost hunting equipment.
We spent $70 on a hairdo.
Do I still have to kiss him?
That's the button on it.
Yeah, yeah. I think he's only getting that. That's all he's getting.
With any luck, they won't kill each other tonight.
You got something to say?
Your breath smells like asphalt.
At least my breath don't smell like ass. Ugh.
Don't worry, I despise this too. I love you though.
talk about Miss Susan Sheets.
Oh, Miss Susan Sheets, Chris Smith, Mike G.
A little piece of cornbread.
Oh my God.
There it is. Of Kentucky, shine on, the one that's gone and left me blue. Blue moon of Kentucky, keep on shining. Shine on, the one that's gone and left me blue. It's like I'm in the car on my road trips. This is what I do in the car on my road trips. My name is Susan, and I'm from Greenville, Tennessee.
But Susan Sheets talks like this.
Country is cornbread, as we like to say. Born and raised in Northeast Tennessee, a very rural area.
She's this tiny little lady. I just want to put you in my pocket.
Take you home with me. She can tell you anything, and it's not, I want to gouge your eyes out. And you're like, oh, just come here.
Come on in. It's all right.
Gouge it.
Take them.
Actually only left Tennessee when I was in the military. I was blessed to be able to do that. I served in the United States Army. I was a PFC when I got out, a little E3. I was a corrections specialist, so I worked in a regional confinement facility. I was there for 2 years and got out a little early because when I got out, I was expecting my first son. I do have 2 sons. They're 27 and 22 now. And when you have those kids, you know, you bring them home from the hospital, you have their lives planned out, and you're gonna raise them to be independent so one day they can, you know, be on their own and be productive individuals, contribute to society. Nobody tells you that when they go and be independent on their own, that it's gonna rip your heart right out of your chest. So the empty nest syndrome hit me a lot harder than I expected it to. And that's one of the reasons that I got into the paranormal. But I was never really one to go investigate, because I was scared something would follow me home. But when the baby moved out of my house, I found I had a lot of time on my hands. So a friend had actually mentioned going to one of the public ghost hunt events with paranormal celebrities. My very first ghost hunt ever that I ever did, that I went and actually investigated on my own, was an event at an abandoned amusement park in West Virginia, and the Wraith Chasers were there. And that was my very first experience meeting them. So I was just starstruck and just silly, could not even speak. But getting to know them over the past 5 years has just been a ball. And when you see them, especially Chris and Mike together, they just banter back and forth, and it's not scripted. It's not, that's just who they are. That's the thing that sells them, is their authenticity. They are so down to earth. They're so real. And when they interact with their fans and the people that come and see them, it's just like, you know, they're interacting with people they've known their whole lives. They can interact with people from all walks of life. They're just uniquely set up for that. And again, the past 5 years, getting to know them has just been wonderful.
Over the years, I've watched her grow into that person that she kind of takes the reins. She's leading investigations. She's coming up with new theories and new ideas.
With this investigation that we're doing at St. Albans, what I hope to get out of it is the same thing that I hope with every investigation. A definitive personal experience.
She's gonna be the first in line to try something new. The first one to lay on the floor, hide in a tub, whatever it may be, no matter how dirty, cold, whatever the location is, she's gonna be the first one in.
Once you have that definitive personal experience, you're hooked. I don't know if it furthers an understanding, but it certainly furthers a curiosity and, you know, a drive to know more. What did that? What acted on that REM pod? What made that cat ball move and go off? What are these things that we're experiencing? What is that? Thank you.
I'm sure tonight she will definitely be the life of the party in the afterlife.
And it's been my experience, 9 times out of 10, you're not gonna capture that on audio, you're not gonna capture it on video, but you're gonna know it. And that's gonna be personal to you, and that's gonna keep you going in this field because you wanna do it and you wanna experience that again.